Alright, hey guys, what's up? 8 by Brian here, and it's time for another month of Krusty Comics. So this month I'm going to be changing things up a little bit, and we're going to be taking a look at some Transformers comics. So being Transformers month, that makes sense, right? So I got some cool ones that I'll show you, and we'll go over and take a look at some of the different ones that we have. Alright, so some of the first ones I have these are from the Marvel series, which are probably a lot of you guys remember reading and maybe even collecting back in the day, or maybe going to comic book stores now and see them now. And they originally started out as a 4-issue limited series. This is Transformers #1. I picked this up for $1 about 3 or 4 months ago, and in its current shape, this is worth about $300 to $400. This is a really rare comic. This shows the origin story of Cybertron and the Ark crashing into Earth, and the Decepticons, battling for energy, and the Transformers, the Autobots, their war starting on Earth, and everything like that. And I'll show you some of the pictures inside. Now this is from 1984. So I don't know how well you're going to be able to see the front cover there, but some really amazing cover art. And hopefully you guys will be able to see some good pictures here. This shows the beginnings on Cybertron. And let's see some other good pages. Here's one where it talks about the beginnings of the Cybertronian Wars. Let's see. Oh, here we go. This is cool. This shows after they've crash landed on Earth in the Ark, and Teletran 1 is programming all the different Autobots and Decepticons, how they came out of the Ark, and how Optimus Prime gave them names, or like named them, and they all got grouped together. So that's a really cool image of most of the Decepticons, like Thundercracker and stuff, up top, and the Autobots as well. And here we have a shot of Sparkplug Witwicky, the Autobots' loyal friend. I don't remember his dad's name. What was his dad's name? Some other stupid name, right? Let me see if I can find it. Oh, I think his dad's name might have been Sparkplug. His name was Buster. I don't know. They were really stupid and corny names, but yeah, you can see them working in their garage. And the whole thing between them and the Autobots was like they would learn about culture through Buster, and then they were like, "Oh, your cars, you need repairs, right?" So, they were like, "Oh, we're humans that won't give away your secrets, and we'll repair you and stuff." And there's some battle scenes of the Autobots and Decepticons fighting it out. And then let's see what the last scene of this is before it goes to the next issue. Oh, there we go. This is as Buster and Bumblebee are becoming friends. And it says, "Hey, buddy, can you spare some fuel?" as they realize there's an energon crisis on Earth. And, who's going to win that struggle for power. This had, I think, 2 volumes and over 100 issues, as it was originally only supposed to be a 4-part limited issue series, but, since the Transformers did psychotically well for kids in the 80s, of course it just kept going. This is one that I actually had from when I was a kid. This is #5, so obviously after the 4-part miniseries ended, and this is Transformers Are All Dead with Shockwave. You can see his blaster still smoking on the front there as he carved that in granite on the wall. Just so cool. And this is a really awesome comic. Because early on, I was surprised that they took such a crazy story arc. The main point of this comic, and you can see the colors really held up well over the years. The rest of the comic's a little ratty, but the pages are really nice and white. Yeah, you see, here we go. Shockwave, where he has Megatron imprisoned after they had captured Optimus's head. I'm not sure if it shows that. Let me see if I can see a picture of that. Because Megatron, yeah, here we go. Oh, well, it's like one of the first ones. It shows that Shockwave and the Decepticons have been pretty victorious in their battles against the Autobots, and they're all defeated. And Megatron is incapacitated after their fight, and he's being held prisoner because Shockwave doesn't feel that he's fit to lead, so Shockwave has assumed command of the Decepticons, since Shockwave is a transformer that operates purely on logic. And you can see here Megatron in the bottom saying, "Talk, Shockwave," while you still function, as Megatron's plotting his revenge. But there's a really cool fight scene in here between the two of them. Let me see if I can find that. And it's really interesting, too, to see Megatron calling Shockwave. He says, "Yes, Master Shockwave." Yeah, right here. It says at the bottom, in the bottom corner, it says, "Yes, Commander." So that's really weird to see, like, Megatron, like, taking orders from somebody else. But let's see. Oh, there we go. Yeah, and this is at the end. It shows where Optimus Prime's head has been captured, and they're trying to get the Allspark out of him and the knowledge of all the Transformers, and it's just Buster, Witwicky, and Ratchet that are left after the battle for Energon with the Decepticons and the Autobots. So just really awesome coloring and color art here, and you have some of the transmissions, which is like fan mail from kids and stuff, like asking questions about the Transformers. So pretty cool. Alright, and that's the American version. Now here's something really interesting. This is the UK version, which started in late 1986, I believe. The earliest ones I have are from 87. And as you can see, they're enormous. Like, they are ridiculously huge, but as a lot of things, just to put them up for a size comparison here, most UK comics, I don't know why, but they're just made really gigantic, like a big magazine, and really makes for a really cool picture. Like, the picture looks really great, but you'll notice that a lot of the Transformers look different, and the storyline doesn't mesh. So you actually have a lot of the storylines in the UK versions, because this was also produced by Marvel, where Ratbat actually is leader of the Decepticons, and you see the different pages where they're not really papery, they're kind of plastic, which is actually cool, I think, because they last a lot longer. And the color's really bright, but for some reason I just don't like that as much as the original comics that I grew up with, or at least the American ones, not necessarily the one that I grew up with. And this is one of this shows Astro Train, and he's attacking like humans in the future. It's all the triple changers, and they're out causing havoc and stuff. So pretty cool. And then you also have another comic in the back. This one is Iron Man 2020. So you got an extra comic in here. So these were almost like a magazine, which is kind of really weird. And then also, later on, you would have Transformers and Action Force. So I'll show you a cover here. See on the top, Action Force, and that's because Transformers paired up with G.I. Joe. So even though they weren't in every comic, they just put that label on there because sometimes you would have a pairing with G.I. Joe, and you have Scorponok fighting some random Autobot. So that's much later in the series, and you're like the headmasters and stuff like that. And yeah, there's some pictures of Scorponok transforming and doing battle. Yeah. Oh, then you have Grimlock. What is has this. Now this is called Grim Grams, so he has his own little mail corner too, which is really neat. But I just really like, overall, like the cool pictures on these big, bright comics. There's a couple more. There's Triptychon, which is awesome. Then you have some crazy alien. I actually read this one where his dagger can sap energy out of Transformers. That's a kind of interesting, interesting storyline. And then you have another one here, a couple actually here. Shockwave. Ultra Magnus and Springer and everybody being attacked by some random glowing magma fist. And another really cool one of Shockwave, where you see it looks like he has either a random human or there might be Buster Witwicky, which I think who it more than likely is, that he's threatening to kill or harm if they don't do as he says. And I want to see if I can find something with, oh, here we go. And that was convenient. This is the Action Force I was talking about earlier. And I don't know why G.I. Joe was named that, because it's just really G.I. Joe. But in some variants, you actually would see members of G.I. Joe and the Autobots and Decepticons fighting alongside each other. So it's really cool to see stuff like that. Like, you don't see it very often. Let me see if I can find a picture in here. No, I don't think they did it in here. It kind of looks like they might have, because you see, looks like Serpentor in the corner there, and he's, looks like he's trying to control some machines, so possibly. I haven't read all of these, so I'm not sure if I have any that actually have them, actually fighting together or against each other. But it's still really neat to see a crossover, you know, with G.I. Joe and the Transformers. Alright guys, so that's all the comics I have this month for the Krusty Comics. Hope you enjoyed taking a look at my Transformers comics this month. And stay tuned as Transformers Month rolls on.
Hey guys, if you liked the video that you just watched, go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below. And if you do the Facebook or Twitter thing, follow me at #KingOfRetro. See you next time.